right, everybody. Well, that didn't work well. I'm here. Don't you worry. There we go. So welcome everybody to What's the Obsession True Crime live stream and chat. It is What's the Obsession Friday night date night. We typically do a true crime live stream on Friday nights whenever I can. And this weekend, we are also going to do another true crime live stream either tomorrow night or Sunday night. It's probably going to be tomorrow night, but I might be able to even let you know by the end of this live stream. So tonight, what are we going to be talking about? We are going to be talking about a case that this channel has been following from the very beginning, along with many of you I know. And if you haven't, no worries. That's totally okay. It's definitely not a prerequisite. We've had some inside sources connected to this case, a couple students who are friends with Ethan Chapin and some other, things that closely connected this channel to this case all along. And just today, publicly, the audio recording of the 911 call, there's one call, made by the surviving roommates of this tragedy, the victims being Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, Ethan Chapin, and Xander Knodel. The surviving roommates, Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk, along with at least two of their friends. One we know was Ethan's best friend, Hunter Johnson, and his girlfriend, Emily, Emily lived right next door in 1112 King Road. The residence where the tragedy happened was 1122 King Road. We know at least those four young people were there and present when this 911 call was made. And, I heard through, I think it was, Daniel from the Drunk Turkey Show for sure, or the DT show he's now branding as. He's doing a great job, I think. Good job, Daniel. And I also heard Gray Hughes Investigates were saying, was it just last night or maybe the night before too? I'm not sure. That they had heard the audio of this 911 call. I guess they had put in previous FOIAs that had come through as Judge Hippler is allowing more of the case content, the discovery in this case, to become a matter of public information, as I believe it should be. I've agreed with a lot of the decisions he's made. What about you? Let us know in the comments. Are you liking more of the vibe of Judge Hippler or Judge, who was the previous judge in Latah County? Well, they were saying that they had heard this 911 call, but they were, in good taste, going to wait until it was released by the larger stream media to the greater public, because there is definitely a trigger warning here. This is very graphic content. You can just, if you haven't heard it yet, we're going to hear it in a minute. What are the words for something like this, right? That's why I'm here with you. And I wanted to go live tonight and talk about this, because I know for a lot of people to listen to this kind of thing, it is traumatizing. It affects us on a really deep level. And, I know there's some people in this channel community that might want to be with others when they hear this, because it is hard to listen to. I listened to it earlier for the first few times by myself, and it was, it's hard to hear. Okay. So first, before we go into the audio that was just today released to the greater public, thank you, Judge Hippler, for respecting our due process rights to have the right to be tried by a judge or jury of our peers in a public forum. I feel like he is adhering to those rights, and I really like that. I just want to read you, or I'm going to play a recording of myself just reading out the transcript that was all that was released just prior to the audio coming out, because I just kind of want to compare and contrast them. And this is all to a larger point. So I do want to say welcome to those of you who are here. And Sis Vicious, I'm so glad to see you. And was your Sis Vicious is a moderator and longtime friend of mine in this channel. She shares a birthday with Xander Knodel. Was your birthdays in February? Is that right? 12 Gauge Investigates says tragic. Yeah, man, it's hard. It's hard to find words, isn't it? Sis Fish is coming right back, not missing a beat. I'm really so happy to see you. And Warning Label Nina has been on the channel a few times. She has a channel. Definitely go check out her channel. It's Warning Label Nina, just as you see it right there on the screen. And moderators, you're welcome to, sprinkle links through. I just don't like to be too heavy in the links, because I want the chat and discussion mostly to be you guys chatting and discussing. But I'm always happy to share the love. And definitely I suggest you watch Warning Label Nina's content. It's good stuff. And Anna, welcome. How are you doing? Nice to see you. I'm glad you're here. Pepper, Honeyman, moderators, thank you so much for being here. Kevin, Sandra Voss, welcome. Kevin, yeah, let's definitely talk later too. Trauma's real, man. You've got to talk it and work it out, or it stays with you. That's one thing I know. For those of you who don't know, I am a behavioral therapist, and by nature of the work I do, I mean, we've all learned a bit about trauma, haven't we? You don't have to be an expert in anything. Hey, Edward. But the nature of the work I do, I work in trauma. So, whoops, I'm a little shaky here. And I am a little shaky too. Sometimes when I talk about this stuff that's really hard to talk about, like I get nervous. So I'm just going to say that, I just do. So if I seem nervous, I'm a little nervous. So first, let me bring into the stream just the readout. Okay. And then we'll get right into the audio straight from there. Okay. And again, welcome to everybody else who's coming in. Please hit like, it just helps out the channel. It feels like a weird thing to ask when we're talking about this kind of stuff, but you know how YouTube is. So yeah, thank you for being here most of all. This video is very simply the readout of the 911 call transcript from 1122 King Road on November 13th, 2022. A call made by surviving roommates of victims, Kelly Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle, surviving roommates, Dylan Mortensen, Bethany Funk, and some friends that they called over to the house that morning. Okay, so we know that this 911 call takes place after the young persons discovered Xana Kernodle's body. It says in the conclusion of the court papers preceding the recitation of the transcripts of the 911 call, it says, the transcripts of the 911 call to Whitcomb on November 13th, 2022, immediately following the discovery of Xana Kernodle unresponsive at 1122 King Road. The document then goes on to describe who each of the persons are that can be heard in the 911 call. And I just want to point out, A is a woman, A1 is woman 1. So we know that A1 is their neighbor Emily, who is the girlfriend of Hunter Johnson, and woman A is going to either be Bethany or Dylan. So we know at least that much. And again, guys, I'm just going through just the readout of the transcript that was released prior to the actual audio being released. And again, this is just to compare and contrast. And I do want to hit on the point of what Nina says here. I really love that our community is so respectful. And I want people to be able to share their opinions. And some people, even a video I put out earlier on this topic, did not agree with me. And I stated what I say and they say what they had to say. And I welcome them to be here tonight. If you are here, I truly do mean it. We welcome your opinions and we are respectful on this channel. But I'm going to say, it is hard for me to, after listening to this audio, to understand the criticisms that are still being yielded towards thrown at the surviving roommates. Okay, let's just use plain language. Dispatch 911, location of your emergency. A, so this is Dylan or Bethany. Hi, something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what. We have dispatch. What is the address of the emergency? Dylan or Bethany? 1122, no, don't. Dispatch. What is the rest of the address? Dylan or Bethany? Oh, Kings Road. Dispatch. Okay, and is that a house or an apartment? Dylan or Bethany? It's a house. Dispatch. Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right? And then this is going to be neighbor Emily talking. I'll talk to you guys. We live at the right, so we're next to them. Dispatch, I need someone to repeat the address for verification. Emily, the address, 1122 Kings Road. Dispatch, and what's the phone number you're calling from? Emily asks, what's your phone number? And Dylan or Bethany responds. Dispatch, okay, and tell me exactly what's going on. Emily, one of the roommates who's passed out and she was drunk and she's not waking up. And then the phone must go to Dylan or Bethany temporarily, who says, no, we saw. Dispatch, okay. Emily, okay, they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. Dylan or Bethany, hi. Dispatch, are you with a patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone. Stop passing it around. Dylan or Bethany, can I just tell you what happened pretty much? Dispatch, what's going on currently? Is someone passed out right now? Dylan or Bethany, I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m., Dispatch, okay, I need to know what's going on right now. If someone is passed out, can you find that out? Dylan or Bethany, yeah, I'll come. Come on, we got to go check, but we have to. Is she passed out? She's passed out. What's wrong? Dispatch. Dispatching Moscow, Law, Ambulance 4. Dillner Bethany. She's not waking up. Dispatch. Unconsciousness. 1122 King Road. Q170 is en route. Dispatch. Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way. Dillner Bethany. Okay, maybe. Dispatch. Unintelligible. 1122 King Road. All ambulance respond for unconsciousness. 1122 King Road. Q2. I copy. Dispatch. Unintelligible. 58. Multiple RPs on the phone advise saying the roommate on scene is passed out and not waking up. Believe she got drunk last night and unintelligible about a male being in the room with them. Q1. Unintelligible being around. Dispatch. That one I copy about 20-year-old female unconscious trying to get further. Q1. Copy. A2. Yeah, it's Evan? Dillner Bethany. Okay. Dispatch. Okay, how old is she? Dillner Bethany. She's 20. 20, you said? That was a dispatch? Dillner Bethany. Yes, 20. Here, do you want to talk to him? Dispatch. Okay. And then A2, and I'm assuming this is Hunter Johnson. Hello? Dispatch. Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people. A2, possibly Hunter Johnson. Okay, sorry, they just gave me the phone. Dispatch. Is she breathing? A2. Hello? Dispatch. Is she breathing? A2. No. Dispatch. Okay. Q1. Unintelligible en route. A2. Possibly Hunter Johnson. Bethany or Dylan, I need you to talking to them, okay? And then hearing the audio, it's definitely Hunter Johnson saying that. Bethany or Dylan, I need you to talk to them. Okay? I can't talk to them. I need you to talk to them. Dylan or Bethany. Okay, hello? Dispatch. Okay, I've already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. Dylan or Bethany. Okay. If there's a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it. Until responding, RPs advising. Dylan or Bethany. Unintelligible. Dispatch. The patient is not conscious, not breathing. Dylan or Bethany. Unintelligible. Dylan or Bethany. We don't have one. Q1, unconscious, not breathing. Dylan or Bethany, do you have a defibrillator? Must be talking to a responder. Q3, yep. Dylan or Bethany, yes, we have one. Dispatch, but are you talking to the officer? Dylan or Bethany, yes. Dispatch, okay. I'm going to let you go since he's there with you and can help you. Dylan or Bethany, okay, thank you, bye. Okay, so, and I'm not going to go into that right now because I want to talk about this case and we're going to listen to the audio right away, just like I said I would, but I just want to share with you very briefly something, and again, we'll talk about this later after we go over all the material having to do with this case that I've talked about before on this channel, and it was the one time when I had to give serious CPR. I'd given CPR another time before. I didn't realize I wasn't giving CPR. I hadn't been as highly trained as I was this previous time. And just listening to this, it brings up trauma for me. So for whatever reason, listening to this stuff is hard. We were talking about this a little, before the live stream. So if people feel that way, like, don't pick on people about it or laugh at them about it or feel weird if you feel that way. Like, it's part of being a human being. And I personally think it's better that you're feeling than to not. But if you feel like things are upsetting to you or trigger you, it's for as much as people are different, we are so much more the same than we are different. And I truly believe that. And there are people that care and a community of people that want to be here for you here on YouTube and your life in other ways. And so please do just remember that. Okay. So now I'm going to bring in the audio that was just released, as far as I know, to the greater media just today. I received it from several people. I got this copy from a media channel that I trust, not knowing if anything had been tampered with. I compared it to the others that had just come out, and they were all the same. I overlaid the audio just to make sure I was not disseminating anything that had any semblance of BS, because that is not what we do here. Okay. All right. So this is the audio that was just released today of the 911 call, not the transcript. I didn't try to align it with the transcript because, as you're going to hear, the words that are said in the call don't really align with the transcript as it's been put out there. I could make one, based on what we actually hear, but I just didn't have time to do that today. So it just goes along with pictures of the house and the area and the memorials and the victims and things like that. Okay. So So again, you know, of course, there is a trigger warning. This is hard to hear. It was hard for me to hear. I'll say that. What's the obsession? This is a just released audio phone call to 911 from the surviving roommates of the Idaho4 tragedy. The victims of that tragedy were Kelly Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Ethan Chapin, and Xander Knodel. The 911 call made from the surviving roommates, Dylan Mortensen, Bethany Funk, and 2 friends who arrived on the scene. At least the call plays 2 times through. Please be respectful in the comments.
11:55 a.m. 42 seconds, November 13, 2022.
911 location of your emergency.
Hi, something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what.
What is the address of the emergency?
1122.
Guys, I'm sorry. I'm just going to play it through after this, but I just want to say, you know, some of the comments when I just post this video were like, oh, this sounds so fake. Listen, I said to you guys, and I'm going to stand by it, I do respect your opinions and I want to have a responsible conversation. But if you hear that and what you hear is fake, like my son was saying, Mom, maybe you better do this live stream tomorrow night. Like, I don't know, because he knows I feel strongly about this. I want to hear what you have to say. I truly do. And you have that forum here, but I might have some things to say too.
What is the rest of the address?
Oh, Kings Road.
Okay. And is that a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right?
I'll talk to you guys. We live at the White, so we're next to them.
So that's Emily A. We're going to call her. I don't know if she still is. At the time, she was Hunter Johnson's girlfriend. She lived at 1112 King Road.
I need someone to repeat the address for verification.
The address, 1122 King Road.
And what's the phone number that you're calling from?
3731.
And tell me exactly what's going on.
One of the roommates is passed out, and she was drunk last night, and she's not waking up.
Okay.
Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. Hi,
And are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop passing it around.
Can I just tell you what happened pretty much?
What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now?
I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m.
Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out?
Yeah, I'll come. Come on, but you gotta go check. But we have to. Is she passed out? She's passed out. What's wrong? She's not waking up.
Yeah. Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way.
Okay, thank you. What's wrong? Okay.
Okay, and how old is she?
She's 20.
20, you said?
Yes, 20. Here's one.
Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Okay, sorry, they just gave me the phone.
Is she breathing?
Hello?
Is she breathing?
No.
Okay.
Bethany, or Dylan, I need you to talk to them, okay? I can't talk to them, I need you to talk to them.
Hello?
Okay. I have already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
Say that again. There's a police here right now.
Okay. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
We don't have it. Do you have a defibrillator? Yes, we have one.
So are you talking to the officer?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to let you go since he's there with you and can help you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do. There's lots of great comments here. I just want to read this one by ASAP Lizzie because it's so relevant and makes so much sense. Give it a chance. It helps listen to a few times. So in just a video I put out just with this call earlier, I played it twice through. That was one time. I'm going to play it again. Now, I also do have a little of not like, I know special things, but just very practical, small little bits of information that I can contribute to the context of this call just based on the conversations that I've had with the students. So I'll share that with you after we listen to it one or two more times. But I want you to take it in and hear what you hear before I share the things that are going to kind of be another layer on top of that. So just, relax. And as, Sis Fish said, if this is traumatizing for you, really great advice. You can just get up, take a walk. If you need to leave the live stream, we do not blame you. If you, I really mean it. I just feel, I know how triggering this stuff can be, being a therapist. If you feel particularly triggered, please do email me. If a moderator could drop my email in the chat, it's whatsobsession@gmail.com. I will be checking my email tonight, tomorrow, and all weekend because I'm putting that out there explicitly to you because I don't want anyone to have some really negative impact of hearing this and to feel alone. That's not the point of having a YouTube channel. So, okay, so I'm going to play the call through again and again. It's really hard. I could say something every few seconds, but I'm just going to play it through until I even put any more commentary there.
11:59 a.m. 49 seconds, November 13, 2022. 11:55 a.m. 42 seconds, November 13, 2022.
911 location of your emergency.
Hi, something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what.
What is the address of the emergency?
1122.
What is the rest of the address?
Oh, Kings Road.
Okay. And is that a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right?
I'll talk to you guys. We live at the White, so we're next to them.
I need someone to repeat the address for verification.
The address, 1122 King Road.
And what's the phone number that you're calling from?
3731.
And tell me exactly what's going on.
One of the roommates has passed out, and she was drunk last night, and she's not waking up.
Okay.
I do just want to let you know I didn't do the best sound enhancement I possibly could with this, but I did spend some time with it today. When you hear sound drop off, that must be a law enforcement reaction because I promise you there is no sound there.
Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. Hi,
And are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop passing it around.
Can I just tell you what happened pretty much?
What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now?
I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m.
Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out?
Yeah, I'll come. Come on, but we gotta go check. But we have to. Did you pass out? She's passed out. What's wrong? She's not waking up.
Yeah. Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way.
Okay, thank you. What's wrong?
And how old is she?
She's 20.
20, you said?
Yes, 20 here.
Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Okay. Sorry, they just gave me the phone.
Is she breathing?
Hello?
Is she breathing?
No.
Okay.
Bethany, or Dylan needs you to talk to them, okay? I can't talk to them, and they need you to talk to them.
Hello.
Okay. I have already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
Say that again. There's a police here right now.
Okay. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
We don't have one. I think yes. Do you have a defibrillator? Yes, we have one.
Are you talking to the officer?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to let you go since he's there with you and can help you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay.
Oh my God. All right. And we will listen to it again. I know people are, and welcome to those of you who are coming in, just know that this is a safe space where you can express your opinion. I am going to say, I appreciate what you're saying here. And Emerald, I'm glad that you found us here and welcome. I think you're a new name to me, so welcome. I'm really glad you're here. Emerald Wonderland says, is my audio okay when I'm talking, guys? I enhanced it. I enhanced it towards the media that I'm playing so you could hear every detail of the call as well as possible. So just let me know that when I'm talking, it's okay. Emerald Wonderland says, I'm happy to be here. I left 4 lives. I usually watch tonight because the comments were so negative and callous about this call. I know. I'm sorry. I'm having, maybe my son was right. Maybe I should have waited till tomorrow night because I've been having a hard time I just feel so badly for these young people. And, I have all along, I just re-released a video that I had made most of it a while back that talks about, and again, for those of you who don't know, I'm a behavioral therapist, we call them the 5 F's in psychology or in trauma response or trauma management. The responses that humans tend to have to extreme trauma, stress, fear. You can put a lot of different words in there. People are, kind of trying to mince words with me. While, stress and trauma, fear, physiologically, they all do the same thing to our body, and they cause certain not cognitive parts of ourselves to take over. And it goes back to a primordial adaptive quality to Darwinism. Are when it comes down to it, are the first instinct and desire, and also the priority always will be, even when we think so many other things are in our priorities in our life, love, getting married, chocolate ice cream, a nice house, whatever it is, it's always going to be survival. So those are freeze, flop, friend, fight, or flight. We focus on fight and flight a lot, and there's reasons, and I talk about it in that video. But anyway, I re-released that video because I just think it's so important to understand from a human aspect and a human perspective what these young people were going through. I think above all, and especially in talking about true crime, the one thing that I feel, and I've said this time and time again on this channel, and if you don't want to hear it, that's okay. Those of you that have been here a while know that, when it comes to the day when I feel like we can't talk about these things with them having a positive impact on people, and at least, sharing and compassion and human experience. So it just becomes, just like true crime talk, like I think, can happen in a lot of places. Like, I do not want to have this channel anymore because we have to have that connection in the sense of meaning behind events like this. Daisy says, that part absolutely kills me. I noticed that too. Dylan at the end is still being so polite. That's how you can tell. She's exactly how your students' friends described. Good. I'm so glad that you heard that because I had shared that before when people were really ripping on Dylan. And I don't know Dylan. I have never talked to Dylan. I have a lot of compassion for her as a person, and I see her as being kind of like a student I might work with as a behavioral therapist because of what she's been through with all of this trauma. But other than that, I have no particular connection to her. But people have been so nasty about Dylan. Yeah, wouldn't you say? That I don't even want to repeat the things. But, the 2 students who have been I'll take it on. It's on me. It's not even the channel. It's me personally. Kelly, me. I've had a connection with these students since it was like between 10 and 14 days after this tragedy happened. And we talked about a lot of things. And they described Dylan as of all of the people who lived there, and they only said nice, wonderful things about the people who lived there. And my assessment of it is genuinely so. We've had hard conversations. They've said things that were hard for me to hear, hard for them to say, and I feel it's all authentic. But anyway, they said of all of those people that Dylan really is the sweetest soul. She is just so sweet and so kind. And so not all of the things that so many people, for reasons I truly am having a hard time understanding, make her out to be. So thank you for saying that. And I'm glad that you knew about that. And, you know, Anaphylaxis is saying to Lori that they have something in common. Anaphylaxis here is a moderator and friend of the channel. She's just so super valuable for a million ways. And she is retired law enforcement. She was saying to Lori Wolf, who chimed in, and I'm going to read her comment too, that she was a part-time dispatcher for your department when they were short in dispatcher. So you guys know they're sharing the experience of, you know, how hard it is to be in that position of that 911 dispatcher. Because I'm glad that you said something initially, Lori, and I knew someone was going to come in here, and I think you've come into chats before expressing that opinion, right? Or just that perspective, because I can't help it. Just viscerally, when I know that 911 operator has a job to do, and I know it's hard for her, and I can't imagine getting information from people in emotional states. It's hard just when it's not an emergency, just in like a therapeutic conversation. So I know how important that is. But there are times when I was like, my word, couldn't you be a little more compassionate? And I have that response. But then at the same time, I very much appreciate what you say. And thank you for saying it. Being somebody who does have that position. Let me find that comment. Lori Wolf says, as a 911 dispatcher, I can tell you that it's incredibly hard getting the information we need from someone that is experiencing this level of trauma or shock. And I actually have an experience that relates to that. And again, I'll tell my personal experience again after we go through a few more comments and listen to this again and have more of a conversation. Sis Vicious, I just need to tell you again, I'm so glad you're here. It's wonderful to see you. Karen came in saying, who the hell thinks this is fake? Shame on them. You know, there's just, I guess we can look at some of the comments on just the video where I uploaded the audio. People are saying that, and I've chosen to not watch the other live streams that I think some of you are speaking about tonight, because as my son pointed out, and it was very sweet of him to do that, I am a little emotional about this, and I'm not, my tolerance for that is not high right now. Kylie, and I know you've shared your traumatic experiences too, and thank you for doing that. I think, you know, when people are brave enough to do that, it you know, speaks to somebody who's reading that. And I just thank all of you who are brave enough to do that, because it is brave and it's so valuable. And I just thank you for that. Kylie says, people are assuming that everyone speaking has seen the entire scene. Yeah, and again, we'll listen to it one time where I'll give my contribution, and based on what I learned from those two student sources we have. And then I ended up talking to a couple of people who lived in that 1112 King Road house. I always have to think about it because I always want to mix it up with 1122, 1112, the neighbors. I can definitely give some context to this. And Anaphylaxis says, after they dispatch officers, then they can get more info. Yeah, and you can kind of hear that in the call. There's a moment where she's saying, okay, I have someone headed your way, and like the tone totally changes. Yeah. Let me see. I start some more comments. I really want to, it's really important to me to get your perspectives here. Steffi, and welcome, Stephanie. I meant to say welcome to you a long time ago, says, I heard the real call today and can say with confidence that none of those kids were involved, just as I always thought. She believes just BK. And that is a belief that I hold still to this day. And, you know, and as I've said a million times, I know a lot of you feel this way too. If evidence comes out that shows me something different, I will go in that direction happily. And I will reflect on how I once thought something that is no longer what I think, or that was proven wrong. I have no problem with that. But as more and more evidence is released, I'm with Stephanie on that. I just am. Yeah, and again, ASAP Lizzie said, give it a chance. Listen to it a few times. I think that was really wise. Thank you. And I'm so glad you're here. Let's see. All right, I am just going to play that call again for people coming in, or just so I'm just going to play it through one more time again, because again, I think ASAP Lizzie's point is important. You know, if there are things you want to say, I'm going to open up panel. You know, maybe if you can just jot them down or put them as a note on your phone or something. You know, I really want to hear what everyone has to say. One from the surviving roommates of the Idaho 4 tragedy. The victims of that tragedy were Kelly Gonzalez, Madison Mogan. One thing I'm just going to point out before this even starts, I want to go back on my word there, but in the comment, I had to change this. 911 call made at 11:55 and 42 seconds a.m. because that is what it says in the beginning of the 911 call. People have already been making issue with the fact that the 911 call was officially reported as being made at 11:58 a.m. Maybe those of you anaphylaxis or is it Lainey Wolf? I'm sorry if I got your name wrong. I'm going to get right when I go back and check it if I got it wrong. Could you tell us, at what point do you think the timestamp would go on the call for like official like discovery papers purposes? Would it be when emergency vehicles are dispatched or what? Or does it, to me, this is, this is like, it's like splicing amoebas. It's not even, I don't know. But if you guys did know that, I'd like to know that. At what time, how do they determine the time that gets connected to a 911 call in legal records? 11:55 and 42 seconds as opposed to 11:58, for example.
11:55 a.m. 42 seconds, November 13, 2022.
911 location of your emergency.
Hi, something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what.
What is the address of the emergency?
1122.
What is the rest of the address?
Oh, Kings Road.
Okay. And is that a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right?
I'll talk to you guys. We live at the White, so we're next to them.
I need someone to repeat the address for verification.
The address, 1122 King Road.
And what's the phone number that you're calling from?
What? 3731.
And tell me exactly what's going on.
One of the roommates is passed out, and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up.
Okay.
Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. Hi,
And are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop passing it around.
Can I just tell you what happened very much?
What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now?
I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m.
Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out?
Yeah, I'll come. Come on, but we gotta go check. But we have to. Is she passed out? What's wrong? She's not waking up.
Yeah. Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way.
Okay, thank you. What's wrong? Okay.
Okay, and how old is she?
She's 20.
20, you said?
Yes, 20 years old.
Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Okay, sorry, they just gave me the phone.
Is she breathing?
Hello?
Is she breathing?
No.
Okay.
Bethany, the line needs you to talk to them, okay? I can't talk to them, they need you to talk to them.
Hello?
Okay. I have already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
Say that again? There's a police here right now.
Okay. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
No, we don't have it. I think yes. Do you have a defibrillator? Yes, we have one.
Are you talking to the officer?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to let you go since he's there with you and can help you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay.
11:59 a.m. 49 seconds, November 13, 2022.
All right. Let me just get to a few more comments, and then I want to talk about Hunter Johnson and just for you know who you are. It doesn't really matter, but I have never personally spoken with Hunter Johnson, so you know who you are. Channel's who you are. Don't even get on that because don't even. Yeah. So let me get to a couple of these. Yeah. Sis Fisher says, and I just really like this comment. We are open to discuss the conjecture of the case, but please state such in your own opinion, as we do not want to further harm the victims or their families. Thank you for saying that, Sis Vicious. Rumor without fact helps no one. And that is the stance that this channel always takes. And thank you so much for stating that so eloquently. Yeah, it is like, you know, Honeybone was talking about all the people talk smack about them during such a traumatizing situation. It's hard for me to hear today. It always has been hard, but today it's very hard. Do I see guilty of crime? Hi, guilty of crime. Maybe it was a trauma. Thank you. We can say in response to so many of the things people had to say. Now, and Karen, I didn't know if you wanted me to pin that, but I did respond to you. And thank you so much for sharing that. And I am so sorry that you had to endure that. And I hope you're getting all the support that you deserve and need. And let me know if there's anything we can do to help you. Oh, well, thank you for being here, Robin. Thank you. Guilty of crime, our friend, another true crime channel, friend of this channel. I think she was doing her job. It was hard to tell what was happening. I want Bryan Kohberger to be convicted. Yeah. I mean, you know, and it's funny on this channel, when I say something like that, I echo your sentiment. I want to be convicted too. Oh, people crucify in the comments. Listen, here is the most factual statement. Let's get down to it. I want the right person to be convicted. As I know, guilty of crime is obviously it's assumed here. And as I was just saying before, as evidence piles up, it just keeps pointing me to the direction as a logically thinking, rational person who gives, I believe, you know, the evidence that's out there and what I think maybe even more consideration than I would if I didn't feel the responsibility of having a true crime channel like Guilty of Crime. I'm not going to put garbage out there that's going to cause people harm and pain that they wouldn't have felt if it weren't for my improper interpretation or careless, you know, spewing of words. I'm not even sure where I was going to go with that. See, maybe my son was right. Maybe I should have waited. Layla says, I completely agree with you. The way the dispatcher is speaking to them just doesn't feel good to me, but I also understand it's an emergency situation and she needs to gather certain information too. Yes. Yeah. Pepper says to Guilty of Crime, Hunter is the only one that went into the room. All of that blood is isolated to the second bedroom. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm even going to expand on that. Okay. Daisy says, thank you, Kelly, for always trying to keep them safe. It's noticed. Thank you. Some of the things I see make me crawl out of my skin. Yeah, and sometimes it's, you know, I really do try to be open-minded, but sometimes it's like, for fuck's sake, people, just try being a human being for a hot second. For fuck's sake. Seriously, that's how I'm feeling today. And I think my son heard me expressing that when I was on the phone with my mom, which was like, maybe you should do your live stream tomorrow, Mom. But I don't mind saying that. Like, maybe this is a time to say it. For fuck's sake, try being a human being. Oh, yeah, Karen, I just can't imagine that what you went through. Yeah, my God. And Kylie and so many of you, I know, horrible experiences that we've all had or you've all had. And I'm just so sorry for that. And all of you deserve all of the support and the healing that you can get. And if there's anything this channel can do to help you get those things, if you don't have them, please let me know. I don't know. I can't work miracles, but maybe together we can, or just something will happen, right? Thank you, Lindy. Thank you so much. Now I just want to, I am going to do this. I do want to focus specifically on Hunter Johnson's part in this 911 call. And I am going to tell you what I have learned, not by talking to him. I have never spoken to him, as a matter of fact. Got to think. There are certain things that I've talked about on this channel that I have been able to contribute to the conversation that were by no means outside the scope of the protective, super protective, ultra gag order, which I think Judge Hippler, I feel like with this current judge, it's not even something I would have given a second thought to. Xana was found on the floor. Ethan was in Xana's bed when he was found. Whether the discussion we're having tonight, whether that's important or not, I really don't know. I guess it's how you categorize important. But it is an issue that I just happen to know that fact. And I've spoken more about how I know that fact, and I'm not going to do it right now. Either you know or you don't, or you can go back and find it. The reason I even am bringing a fact that doesn't have to do with memorializing these beautiful victims and understanding the human experiences here is because people weaponize what they claim to be Hunter Johnson's experience. And I'm just going to call him Hunter Johnson because at this point, everybody knows that's who it was. His initials are right in the, in the released, the newly released, slightly redacted, but now unsealed court documents, right? We all know it, okay? And I don't think he has a problem with that from what I understand. He understands, part of the work that God gave him in life is not what he expected it was going to be on November 12th, 2022. And since then, he has been coming to a great understanding of the gravity and the importance of that work and what it means to him in his life and the life of his loved ones and his family and the memory of his friends, right? Let's just listen to part of that again, focusing on Hunter Johnson, then I'm going to have more to say about that. I have to organize my thoughts on that a little better, but okay. The call plays 2 times through. Please be respectful in the comments.
11:55 a.m. 42 seconds, November 13, 2022.
911 location of your emergency.
Hi, something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what.
What is the address of the emergency?
1122.
What is the rest of the address?
Oh, Kings Road.
Okay. And is that a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right?
I'll talk to you guys. We live at the White, so we're next to them.
I need someone to repeat the address for verification.
The address, 1122 King Road.
And what's the phone number that you're calling?
Okay, so that right there is Emily speaking, who was at the time Hunter Johnson's girlfriend. I don't know if she is now or not. I don't know anything about the private lives of any of these kids except for the 2 students who I connected with and I still am in touch with, who are doing different things with their lives now. And obviously this has infected them. I'm sorry. I'm just a little frazzled. What a weird thing to say. Impacted them greatly. Guilty of crime. Thank you so much for the super sticker. And I, love being part of your community when I can. I love that you come over here. Guilty of Crime has a very down to earth for real channel, and we appreciate that about you. Thank you. So this entire time, like right now, as you heard in the beginning of the call, it was Dylan who initially got on the phone. She was very upset. So Emily takes the phone and says, okay, I can talk to you for now. At this time, when Emily takes the phone, this is when Hunter has gone in the house. And I believe, I don't know for sure, because I do not know what Dylan and Bethany saw that morning. I do not know that, and I do not claim to know that. But I do know that while Emily is on the phone right now with 911, as we're hearing, Hunter went in the house. And given the fact that we know that Xana was positioned on the floor slightly outside of the bedroom and that Ethan was on the bed inside of the bedroom, and I had never heard anything about a door being hard to open or anything like that. We know this whole time when we hear Emily talking on the phone now, he is in there investigating the scene. So please do keep that in mind.
Calling from?
What? 3731.
And tell me exactly what's going on.
One of the roommates is passed out, and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up.
Okay.
Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. Hi, this is
And are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop passing it around.
Can I just tell you what happened pretty much?
What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now?
I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m.
Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out?
Yeah, I'll come. Come on, we gotta go check. But we have to.
All right, guys. Now listen, like I said, I don't know anything above and beyond what anyone else knows about the roommate's experiences that morning. In the earlier part of the morning, you know, I've already told you what I know about right around the time the intruder left, right? But that's Dylan on the phone. Now, remember, I'm not playing this real time now because I'm breaking it up because I paused it, but it was just a little while ago. Emily was on the phone. That whole time, Hunter now has gone inside the house and is investigating the scene. The dispatcher says, is she passed out or is she conscious? Either the inverse or whichever way of asking that question. She says, I don't know. Come on, Bethany. No, we've got to go in. Come on. We've got to see. We've got to see. Okay. So I know that people are rightfully asking the question of what the heck, you know, they didn't mention anything about the blood. And just because I'm feeling sensitive about things now, when I read that, sometimes I'm like, but it is a legitimate question. And it's a question I had, you know, for a long time. I don't know. I'm just speculating and I want to know what you guys think. I actually am going to put the link up to come up onto panel if anyone does want to speak, because sometimes this is just better to have as a conversation. So the dispatcher says, is she unconscious or conscious? She says, I don't know. Come on. We've got to go see. No, we have to go see. It's very clear to me that they know that something horrible happened in there, but it doesn't seem like at that moment they saw the nature of the horrificness, maybe as by the grace of God or an angel, you know. But during this time when Hunter is not out there, but the girls are, and he went back in there to investigate the scene, he did witness the horrific nature of what was to be seen in there. So now I want you to listen to his tone and his demeanor and his words when he does eventually come back out.
Did you have help? What's wrong? She's not waking up.
Yeah. Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way.
Okay.
With that moment, and I think at that moment, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, I think you hear when she says, oh my God, she's not waking up. I think you hear a male voice in the back. Or you might even hear like heaving. From what I understand, a few people got sick. Like around this time. I feel like what happened in that moment, let me know what you think, was Hunter was in there. He saw what had to be seen. I think at the same time, he both fled and he had to gather himself. I think he truly experienced time stopping dead in its tracks. He must have. And so Dylan says, oh my God, she's not waking up. And I think you hear him in the back saying, yeah, or heaving. And I think it was her seeing Hunter's reaction to what he saw that let her know that. Let me just go back a couple seconds so you can hear that little interaction.
Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way.
It's right before she says, one moment, I'm getting help started that way. Like, it's for real. Not that she didn't think it was before, but now they know.
Oh, what's wrong? She's not waking up.
Yeah.
Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way.
Okay, thank you.
So now you hear that heavy breathing, and that is Dylan again. And I think that was the result of that confluence of Dylan starting to go back in the house. Hunter, I don't even know if he could talk, but just like, no, it was very clear not. It was very clear she was not conscious, was not breathing. Things are becoming very real. And I think at this moment, Hunter is gathering himself and is trying to come to his senses before he comes to the phone. And that's a good question about the defibrillator, Lindy, and I have something to say about that. And we also have some first responder people here in chat, so maybe we can help each other understand that. You hear that in the background there. I listened to that carefully a few times. I don't know if I could, I enhanced it a little bit, I think, above what you're going to hear from the raw audio that came out. I think Hunter's going, get out, get out, get out, get out. Okay, so I'm going to go back a few seconds and just, you have to listen carefully. I'm sure of it. And again, I enhance it here. I didn't add to it or change it anyway. I just reduced the noise and made that louder. He's going, get out, get out, get out, get out.
Okay, and how old is she?
She's 20.
20, you said?
Yes, 20. Here's one.
Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I need someone to stop past.
So now imagine, after seeing what he's seeing, gathering himself, protecting the girls, get out, get out, get out, get out. You know, he now comes to the operator. I need you to stop passing around the phone again. We understand why. But I have noticed after this audio came out, a lot of people shitting on Hunter Johnson too by his response here. And I just want people to understand what we all know just by hearing this, that's obvious, and just the little tiny morsels that I might know that can fill in some gaps of context here, what this boy went through.
Sending the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Okay, sorry, they just gave me the phone.
Is she breathing?
Hello?
Is she breathing?
No.
Okay.
See, and that's the time he said, is she breathing? No. It's very clear to him what he saw. If the question is she breathing? The answer is no.
Bethany, Dylan, I need you to talk to them, okay? I can't talk to them, I need you to talk to them.
Hello.
Okay. I've already sent.
And I believe he says, Dylan, Bethany, I can't talk to them. I can't talk to them. I need you to talk to them. I can't talk to them. And he repeats himself a little bit. There's been a lot of just even the little response. A lot of, tearing this apart, which I'm not going to do. He was just gathering himself, his senses. He was just trying to, get back to a state of being on this earth, probably not pass out, probably not continue to throw up, because I think he threw up in the house, probably be able to talk so he could help and keep himself safe and keep the girl safe and keep his girlfriend safe. And like in that moment, can you imagine what the fuck is going on? All of a sudden, your world around you is like nothing you have ever known before. And that's a fact.
The ambulance and law enforcement, stay on the line. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
Say that again? There's a police here right now.
Okay. If there's a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
No, we don't have it. I think yes. Do you have a defibrillator? Yes, we have one.
So are you talking to the officer?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to let you go since he's there with you and can help you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay.
11:59 a.m. 49 seconds, November 13, 2000.
Okay, now, LJ, by the way, I think it was you, LJ. You were just behind backstage. I would love for you to come up, and I'm sorry I didn't grab you right away. Or I don't know if you had a technical difficulty. Just give me 1 second. I'm a very bad multitasker. Let me just type link to panel here and then post up the link. But please feel free and I'll grab you. I'm sorry. Just sometimes it just takes me a minute to what I'm doing to pull someone up. So I don't accidentally pull you up and you don't really, I like to let you know if your camera's on, just things like that. Now let's see. And this is something else I've heard people talking about. Maybe some of our first responders or dispatchers here can talk to. I can just talk to about somebody who's trained at the level I am. That's just a general certification plus because I'm on our trauma response team. We're currently and have been in roles like that in a lot of things I've done. I don't want to say too much. I've learned sometimes, anyway, I do some additional trainings. Okay. But whether or not it is super unlikely, you might be in the middle of freaking like Skid Row and you're looking around, there's not a fucking defibrillator around here. There's some bags of crack if we really want them, but defibrillator, I don't think so. You're still trained to initiate access to that device that if somebody is not already gone in the way these poor souls were, in many medical cases, is the most likely device that could be on hand that wouldn't be medical equipment that would be inside of a hospital or inside of an ambulance that you would not have access to that's going to save a life. So people are trained to ask that. So I personally didn't find that it was weird at all that she's asking about a defibrillator. Does that make sense, Lindy and everybody else? Yeah, and LJ, please do come back up. And again, I'm sorry I didn't grab you right away. Hey, True Seeker. Hey, honey. Oh, wait, just 1 second. I just have to have a little conversation with my son. Okay, we're helping each other make dinner. Okay. Oh, thank you, Layla. And hi, welcome. How are you doing? Lemon Lime, welcome. How are you doing? Lemon Lime says they should have released this stuff 2 years ago. Yeah, I think part of the negative conjecture that has resulted and some of the nastiness that's gone around and the misplaced beliefs is because this was made to be like such a big mystery. I mean, a lot of what happened in this 911 call is, what we kind of were able to construct based on the little tiny pieces of information, like from our 2 students, from this channel or from, I think there are some other people certainly out there that have had legitimate connections to people or definitely that we've all been able to put together as a community. Like, I think, we've talked about this, making that gag order so broad and so strict and to make the truth something that we should be scared of, like it's a plague. I think that is so contrary to justice. What do I know? I'm not a judge, but I'm just glad that Judge Hippler is doing things the way that he is right now. But LJ, I'm going to bring you up. Okay. Your camera is on. So I just want to make sure you're cool with that. And so I'm going to bring you up now. I don't see anything other than it looks like it's like pointed up at your head or whatever. You're perfect anyway. So I know I've gone like on panel before where I was like, oh crap, I'm wearing my colors and my shower cap. I don't have either, but
it's the weekend. It's spring break, so yeah, I'm bumming it.
Awesome, that's great. Well, thank you for coming up. How are you doing, and what is it you'd like to say?
Well, me and my daughter went to Frederick a little over a month ago. Let's see. Hold on.
Great.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we went there a month. Kel, I
And we're
ran up on
gonna
that.
do. Listen, we're gonna
Yeah,
do a watch stream. We're gonna do a watch stream
Uh-oh.
tomorrow night too. If you'd like to come up
Okay.
then and talk about it. If
Yeah,
but
if you're
I
going to
mean,
talk about
if
that
it's a,
tomorrow,
and
absolutely.
I want
Yeah.
to hear all about it. I
Yeah.
just want to be
Yeah.
careful
Yeah.
because it's
I
such a
got you.
sensitive topic. I know you do. I know.
It is. Yeah, we just went to the house. We went in Nate's house because I wanted to see what that damn bush. I'm like, that house is
Was
not
it
as big
so
as it looks.
emotional? You want to see the goddamn bush? Is it a bush or is it two trees?
It's a bush.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Dude, Kelly, I done my steps, counted my steps from where Nate's camera would be and his front porch to the Watts garage. I went that deep into it.
You did. Oh my
Yes,
God. Will you email me or can we
yes,
talk? Because I
yes,
want
I have
every
your
single
email. Yeah, I will
information.
definitely. I do have your email. I do have your email. I will email you because and I get what you're saying. It's so sad, girl. And then
Yeah, I will. If you email
yeah,
me soon, I'll text you. I'll send
yeah.
you my phone number so we can text because I'm
Oh my
like
God,
better.
yes, I got
wanna do
so
everything.
much to say. I went there twice and then walked through the house. So yes, I've got to talk to you. I do have your email. So I'll
Awesome.
email you. Okay, all right.
Awesome.
Bye y'all.
Awesome. Thank
Bye.
you so much for coming up and
Bye.
sharing.
You're
Let's
welcome.
talk about it tonight. And then if you want to come
Okay.
on tomorrow and if you want to tell it all yourself,
Yeah.
that would be so amazing.
Awesome. Thank you,
Thank you
Kelly.
so much.
Bye
Thank you.
y'all.
I appreciate you. Aw, that was
Bye
awesome.
guys.
Yeah. So she was just saying she went to the Watts house, which I've always wanted to do. Honey Bun and I were talking about maybe going to Crime Con this coming September, and it's in Denver. I haven't done it though. I think it would probably be pretty impactful. Let's see. All right. So Kylie Cosmo says, and thank you for understanding. I just want to, I was even wanted to talk about some other things having to do with the Idaho case tonight about, some other documents that came out. I didn't even want to give the topics because they are pretty interesting, but I just feel like I just want to give respect to this moment in this call. I just feel like that for me is the right thing to do. And Floof Master, welcome. Nice to see you. Says, I believe you, Kelly, and I feel sorry for these young people, but why didn't anyone on this call mention blood? I know that. I mean, okay, this is my theory, my thought on it. You know what? Let's listen to that rest of the call from where Hunter starts talking on. And then I'm going to go directly to your question because that's where I was going anyhow. So I'm telling you what it is that I've heard is little extra bits of information, but I'm just going to tell you from my perspective and mostly from my perspective of being formed of how human beings deal with trauma.
Can you find that out?
Yeah, I'll come. Come on, but you gotta go check.
Currently, is someone passed out right now?
Here, I know, I just feel weird like picking up at certain points. I feel weird dissecting this too much. I'm sorry. I'm just really trying to be respectful because I know how hard this is for families and whatnot to hear right now. So we're just going to listen to one time through again. Knodel, like the names of that tragedy were roommates Dylan Mortensen, Bethany Funk, and two friends who arrived on the scene. At least the call plays 2 times through. Please be respectful in the comments.
11:55 a.m. 42 seconds, November 13, 2022.
911 location of your emergency.
Hi, something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what.
What is the address of the emergency?
1122.
What is the rest of the address?
Oh, Kings Road.
Okay. And is that a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right?
I'll talk to you guys. We live at the White, so we're next to them.
I need someone to repeat the address for verification.
The address, 1122 King Road.
And what's the phone number that you're calling from?
So again, that's Emily talking right now. And it's pretty much my understanding is from the time that she picked up the phone, that is when Hunter went into 1122 King Road with the intention of investigating what was going on, getting more details.
What? 3731.
Tell me exactly what's going on.
One of the roommates is passed out, and she was drunk last night, and she's not waking up.
Okay.
Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. Hi, this is
And are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop passing it around.
Can I just tell you what happened very much?
What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now?
I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m.
Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out?
Yeah, I'll come. Come on, but we gotta go check. But we have to.
Now, see, and I don't think it's strange at all that Dylan Mortensen is saying, and even some people are here asking, I don't think it's strange at all that she's also interjecting in this and relaying the details of what's going on, trying to make sense of it herself and trying to convey to this person, this stranger on the phone, you know, the horrificness of what might be there, but also what they sense, because Dylan is making the connection between what it was she experienced last night and this horrible thing that is starting to, you know, surface of the earth right now. And she knows these two things are connected. I think Dylan has actually been very insightful and intuitive in her description of a lot of things throughout this, contrary to what I guess some people think, at least. And she is understanding the importance, because she was just there, not being able to fully articulate it right now because she is in a state of trauma herself. She's like, listen, I've got to tell you. No. But what I saw last night, that man that was in the house and all this is related. This has got to be related, because this ain't no kind of coincidence. It happens. This is related. And I want you to know everything, because I want you to help us, because you are 911. You are help. I called you because you are the lifeline. You are help. That's how we look at 911. If we need to call there. Have you ever had to call 911? I have on 3 occasions, like in seriousness, and all of those times, I remember so clearly they were completely traumatic. I would not let dispatch get off with me. I was terrified, and it was like, you just want to give them everything, because they're your chance at solving this horrible, horrible thing that you feel like is threatening your life or is threatening your life in that moment. Because if you're calling 911, you've pretty much gotten to that in some level in your mind and yourself. So the fact that she's trying to tell 911 dispatch about this really strange, fucked up event that happened just hours ago that they didn't act on, she might even be feeling guilt, confusion, regret. I think so. Even at this point, she just wants to get all that information out, make good of what she didn't do. But maybe she's like, why the fuck didn't I call 911 last night? She's trying to make good on all of these things. This is such a complicated situation. I just think we all need to have a clear understanding of that.
What's wrong? She's not waking up.
Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way.
Okay, thank you.
See, and that is that moment, that unspoken interaction that visually Dylan Mortensen made this contact with Hunter Johnson, saw what was happening to him, maybe him getting sick or having a physical reaction. You know, the look on his face, I'm sure, said everything. What he saw was the things that nightmares you never want to have is made of, right? And then, you know, that ignited an understanding in her of the horror of the reality that was going on. That still, of course, they couldn't even come close to comprehending this. This is all just beginning to put these pieces together and trying to relay it. I can't fault anyone for the things that were said or the way people behaved on this. And then Hunter's saying, get out, get out, get out, get out. It's like, oh my God, you know, she's probably thinking, you know, oh, well, we didn't call 911, you know, initially. And then, you know, now we know we have to call 911 for whatever reason. We don't know that. And then, you know, his response and her visual understanding of what he's going through and whatever indicator signs she's giving him, you know, to get her away, get out, get out, get out. It's confirming that this is all is real. Like, you got to try to, it's a lot.
Okay, and how old is she?
Now, I also just want you to hear two benchmarks that we have understood, I think, together, or that I'm suggesting at least here. And I wouldn't be suggesting things that were made out of fiction because we're not trying to add to this. This is already horrible enough as it is, okay? But when the dispatch asks her a question, I don't remember what it is, and then she gives some confirmation, like she's not breathing. We hear all this heavy breathing. And then just experience the time it takes. So you hear Hunter saying, get out, get out, get out, get out. And again, I honestly enhance this. I did not add anything to it. If you didn't hear it in other versions of the call, it's because I had a feeling of that timeline. And when I heard something unintelligible being said, I kind of thought I knew what it was. And I'm pretty sure you'll agree that's what it is. So if you want to or can go there, just in your mind, try to experience along with her, just at least in following the timeline of what's going on here.
Currently, is someone passed out right now?
I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m.
Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out?
Yeah, I'll come. Come on, we gotta go check. But we have to. Is she passed out? What's wrong? She's not waking up.
So she just said she's passed out. What's wrong? You know, she's getting this visual information feedback from Hunter, who is slowly reeling back into probably trying to not pass out himself, I would imagine.
Okay. One moment. I'm getting help started that way.
Okay, thank you.
And there was that get out, get out, get out. And the only other thought I had is, could it have been, was there a male responder that was arriving on site at that time? But Hunter saying get out, get out, get out right at that point is consistent with, I believe it was Hunter, but I just want to put that out there again, because I've been wrong before. I will be wrong again. And I don't want to be trying to give any people any false impressions of this.
Okay, and how old is she?
She's 20.
20, you said?
Yes, 20 here.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
Okay,
Right. So then this is Hunter getting on the phone so there was not any male first responder there at that point. Okay. So sorry, I've got the timeline a little confused in my own head.
I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Okay, sorry, they just gave me the phone.
Is she breathing?
Hello? Hello?
Is she breathing?
No.
Okay.
Bethany, the line needs you to talk to them, okay? I can't talk to them, they need you to talk to them.
Hello.
Okay. I have already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
Say that again. There's a police here right now.
Okay. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
We don't have it.
And again, I don't think that's strange at all. Again, in my trauma response training, that is always, you are always, if somebody is in a situation where they are not conscious, they are not breathing, it very well might be that the only piece of medical equipment that you might have access to is a defibrillator. It's always going to be called for. Sorry, I'm trying to make this bigger so I can read it. On top XX and welcome. How are you doing? I'm glad you're here tonight. Says the reason he hands the phone back is he thinks the dispatch didn't want to talk to him, but the original caller, maybe. And, and this is where we're just putting in like kind of our opinions, right? Or I think he was physically struggling in a state of shock from what he just saw. I think he was, I think he probably, have you ever been in that, like, kind of like, feel like you're going to pass out, but then you're kind of coming, you're like, well, you're just holding on. I feel like, to me, it seems likely that could be a possible state of consciousness he's in, but I'm only speculating truly on that. Question of the night, Alpha Mega Welcome says, how do they not mention blood? Neither of them. Well, I personally think that Hunter may have been the only one who saw the blood. I don't know that for sure, because it does, I mean, it's a question I have too, I'll just be honest, but I think if, we're listening to Hunter's response and the time that's lapsing, I think he's trying to maintain consciousness. I think he's trying to keep a grip on reality. I think he's in disbelief that this nightmare that his own senses just, gave him insight into, like he's hoping that his own senses betrayed him and realizing that no, they did not, that this is reality. He might be in a state of shock where he's in a frozen state of shock, so to speak, again. So our 5 human responses to extreme stress and trauma: freeze, friend, flop, fight, or flight. Friend is always the preferred response. There is no friending here. There's no friending anything that's going to fix anything here. That's gone. Okay. So then we usually will go to the sympathetic nervous system. This is not a cognitive choice. This is all a method of adaptive characteristics that human beings have towards survival. These are not choices we make. These are gifts we are given by God and our ancestors to keep us alive. So then after friend, we will go to freeze. Wait, let me make sure I'm getting the hierarchy right. I just put this in the video. There's another one that we will usually go to, and then the other 3 are on the same level, but I don't want to misquote myself, but I think he's in one of those phases of shock. That's all that matters. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, that's nice. You got a vacation. Good for you. Alpha Mega, and it could be distancing possibly. I can't, I've, thank God, never been in any kind of situation like that. I've been in emergency situations, not like what he witnessed. And I pray that none of you have, and I know some of you have shared horrible situations you've been in. I'm so sorry for that. I don't think we can even begin to comprehend what was going on. The struggle between his, cognitive processing of information versus the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems processing. They're in competition at this point between, okay, we're not in immediate danger. My life is not threatened. We can let Hunter's mind take over. He does a good job with cognition. Okay. But then that innate survival need we all have, there's something inside you that literally stops you from thinking and says, no, this is not a thought conducive situation, motherfucker. You are not thinking your way out of this. I'm taking over. I'm the antique brain. I am that intuitive part of every human being and every living thing that keeps your freaking species alive. I'm taking over. Okay. And that's the sympathetic nervous system. And until the sympathetic nervous system says, okay, you know what? Your life is not in danger. You can start with your cognition stuff again, because you do okay with your cognition stuff. I can let you just go and think this through. You're not going to be able to think it through. Your brain is literally frozen. The smarter, more intuitive, adaptive part of yourself that is what keeps you alive has taken over to save your life. And I think that is what we are experiencing this young man going through here. And, I just want to give you guys that, kind of textbook perspective to it, because I think there's a lot of value in understanding that. Just shifting really quickly from the 911 call, I just want you to listen to Hunter here speaking at the memorial. I'm sorry if you can hear my son in the back. I told him for the first 45 minutes he needed to, because he gets loud with his friends, that it's kind of a somber topic. He did good. And if you can hear him in the background, I apologize. He's a respectful kid.
Hello, my name's Hunter Johnson. Me and Ethan became best friends over the last year and a half we spent at the U of I. And since we became such good friends, I feel honored and privileged to even be able to share who he was to everyone here. I met Ethan during Fall Rush of last year. And if you don't know what Rush looks like for fraternity guys, it's you're coming in as a freshman and you're walking to 10 different fraternity houses and talking to 100 different guys, trying to understand all of them and see if you fit in with them. And I remember he was the first person I talked to during Rush that year. And I knew immediately that he was someone that I wanted to be friends with and someone I wanted to join my house. My first impression of Ethan was some tall, goofy kid that, you know, looked athletic. And he was, because we played a lot of basketball during that time. Unfortunately, the basketball wasn't enough to convince him to join my house. So he ended up going to Sigma Chi, but that didn't mean we weren't going to be friends forever. So one thing he told me, because he told me he was going to join Sigma Chi, he said, if I do that, you better not block me and ghost me on anything. And I couldn't believe he said that, because I just knew I wanted to be friends with him for a long time. He had such an infectious smile and a charismatic personality. And if you knew anything about Xana as well, they were very similar in how they acted together. Me and Ethan shared a lot of memories together. Usually at a party where me and him would be controlling the aux and be singing at the top of our lungs any country music song with 50 other people in there not saying a word, just us singing as loud as we could. Some of my other favorite memories that I had with Ethan also included Xana. And those were the times we spent on the golf course. Me, Ethan, Xana, and Emily, we went a lot over the summer and before summer. And you knew it was going to be a good time when we went golfing, when we had more drinks in our bag than we did golf balls. And we usually had to send Xana and Emily to go throughout the forest to look for more golf balls for us, because we ended up losing so many. If you knew Ethan, he was never angry about anything. He would never get upset. You couldn't upset him ever. And one time we went to play 18 holes, and he wanted to bet money every hole, $2 every hole. If you won the hole, you got $2. If you tied, you didn't get it. It just turned to $4 the next hole. And I remember he won the first hole. He whooped me, actually, that first hole. And I remember him being so happy, and he was pretty confident going up to the next hole. Unfortunately for Ethan, I ended up winning the next 17 holes. If you also knew Ethan, you knew he wasn't great with money. And so it wasn't a great feeling when I had to come up to him and ask for the $34 he owed me after the round, because he would ask me to get him drinks every week. He'd say, Hunter, I need some Bud Light Limes. Can you go to the store and get me some? And I was like, yeah, Ethan, I'd love to. After you pay me back for the last 2 weeks that I got you Bud Light Limes. But so yeah, as you suspect, I never got those $34. Ethan was always someone you could count on to make you smile and cheer up your mood. Everybody loved him and his beautiful mustache he had. And I feel so lucky to have shared so many great memories with him. I'm gonna miss our favorite Moana songs we would sing together. Me visiting you and Xana at your parents' house with Emily. And you guys also coming to my cabin and hanging out with my family. And watching you carry all of your drinks in a garbage bag when you walked into a party. I know we're all going to miss these. I love you so much, E and Xan. Thank you.
Yeah, so that was Hunter Johnson at the memorial, and I've heard some other channels even, I've been watching DT show lately, and, I've heard him say a few times about how based on Hunter's appearance and the way he spoke there, that you could tell he experienced something really horrible. I mean, I see a kid that is grieving, and possibly, I don't know if I get that, but I just think you get an idea of how sincere these guys are. And, according to everybody, these young people, they're just essentially good people. They're essentially good kids, right? Jesus, I'm 46 years old. Like, who doesn't, didn't do regrettable things, say regrettable things, act in ways that now I'd be like, ashamed to act that way because I know better because I've lived more life, but they're kids, man. They're kids. Yeah, they are. Reminiscing about college life. Yeah, right. Oh, Pepper says, thank you, Pepper. Hi, Sirius Black. My prayers are with all these kids, but I feel especially a deeper kind of hurt for Hunter. None of these kids should ever have to experience any of this devastation. Yeah. God be with all of them. Yeah. Well said, man. Yeah. Hi, Sirius Black. I actually tried to, I'm going to have to see what your little photo looks like. I tried to tag you on my community post that I was going live with this tonight, but I tagged the wrong Sirius Black. Some of you I try to tag, like Sis Vicious always comes up. Honey Bun doesn't ever come up. Some people, all my moderators, I always will try to tag, but I don't know how you set it up so people can like tag you. I don't know how that works. But you're always all welcome, I promise you, and thought of probably more than you realize. Hi, Dave. How are you doing? Welcome. So, I mean, where do you guys want to go from here? Does anyone want to come up? Do you want to hear the call again? I'm going to play the call one more time. It's the last time I'll play it. I played it a few times, but I do think, going back to ASAP, Lizzie's point in the very beginning, I do think it is. I'm not going to say anything. Everyone just, please just listen carefully. Just listen carefully. And if there's something that's a little louder, it's because I enhanced it. The volume map was like kind of pretty flat for like a call with a lot of excitement at first. So pay attention because it's, I guess, something I wanted you to hear, but I don't want to keep speaking over what we're doing. So. Okay, guys, welcome back to What's the Obsession. This is a just released audio phone call to 911 from the surviving roommates of the Idaho4 tragedy. The victims of that tragedy were Kelly Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Ethan Chapin, and Xander Knodel. The 911 call made from the surviving roommates, Dylan Mortensen, Bethany Funk, and 2 friends who arrived on the scene. At least the call plays 2 times through. Please be respectful in the comments.
11:55 a.m. 42 seconds, November 13, 2022.
911 location of your emergency.
Hi, something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what.
What is the address of the emergency?
1122.
What is the rest of the address?
Oh, Kings Road.
Okay. And is that a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right?
I'll talk to you guys. We live at the White, so we're next to them.
I need someone to repeat the address for verification.
The address, 1122 King Road.
And what's the phone number that you're calling from?
3731.
And tell me exactly what's going on.
One of the roommates is passed out, and she was drunk last night and she's not waking up.
Okay.
Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. Hi,
And are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop passing it around.
Can I just tell you what happened pretty much?
What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now?
I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m.
Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out?
Yeah, I'll come. Come on, but we gotta go check. But we have to. Is she passed out? She's passed out. What's wrong? She's not waking up.
Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way.
Okay, thank you. What's wrong? Okay.
Okay, and how old is she?
She's 20.
20, you said?
Yes, 20. Here's one.
Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Okay, sorry, they just gave me the phone.
Is she breathing?
Hello? Hello?
Is she breathing?
No.
Okay.
Bethany, Dylan, I need you to talk to them, okay? I can't talk to them, I need you to talk to them.
Hello.
Okay. I have already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
Say that again. There's a police here right now.
Okay. If there's a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
We don't have it. I think yes. Do you have a defibrillator? Yes, we have one.
Are you talking to the officer?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to let you go since he's there with you and can help you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay.
11:59 a.m. 49 seconds, November 13, 2022.
Okay, so
11:55 a.m. 40.
someone just plays again. So I'm going to read a few comments here. Guilty of Crime says, I'm looking at it from the standpoint of the trial coming up. Prayers to the entire community. Absolutely. Echo that. This is horrible. Why do people do this to others? I mean, damn, that is, it and I just said to you, it's truly fucking unthinkable. It's, these are the depths of the mind that we are so fascinated with as a true crime community and a culture, I think at large, even if somebody doesn't admit to being a fan of true crime, who is fascinated with these aspects of true crime, because we fear this possibility, this realm of the mind so much. It is a human being's tendency to try to make cognitive sense of something, and that will diminish or break down the fear, make it more understandable, and therefore making whatever the fear or the threat is less imposing. That is our human nature. That is human psychology. This is what we do. And this is nevertheless in the realm of the unthinkable. I mean, yeah. And then I see somebody talking about contact info. I always ask if you guys in chat, because I there have been some things happen on this channel. Unfortunately, I had somebody who took advantage of some people that they were meeting through the chat on this channel. I'm sorry, I'm not going to give out any more information about that. Don't want to get nervous. If you need to connect with people, I've been trying to do better about checking my email. You let me know. I will verify that yes, these two people did express a want to connect with each other, and I will share your emails with each other. After it was something I never could have expected, that I still feel terrible about. I just want to protect everyone. That's all. And then let's see, Lindy had a question I said I was going to get back to. So she said, well, let me get Tony. I'm going to get Lindy last because there's a question. All right. Lemon Lime says, wait, the PCA says also in the room. I meant to address this earlier. Was Ethan, doesn't that mean that both of them were found inside the room? So I'm sorry, because earlier I said Xana was found on the floor a little bit outside the room and Ethan was definitely on the bed. What I know is that Ethan was on the bed. What I am saying about Xana is what I've surmised from what I read in the PCA, or maybe I read something wrong, or what I believe other people have said. I haven't been so focused on that because the position of Xana's body wasn't weaponized the way that it was with Ethan's, in ways I don't even want to go into. So if I did misspeak about that, I don't know any extra information about that, but I do know that Ethan was on the bed. I do know that. I know that. Tony says he was trying to keep everyone calm by being calm himself, in reference to Hunter Johnson. Absolutely. He was just being a good person, trying to do the right thing, doing what he had to in that moment. And Lindy, and again, Lindy, I do understand, the questions. I do understand them. And I am so glad that this call has come to light and some other information has, because I think it helps to extinguish the questions. A lot of them that should have been questions, really, in my opinion. I think I've always thought the gag order was far too strict, far too broad. I know a lot of you agree. I know anyone who watches that channel knows I think that. I don't think that stands in support of justice the way that gag order was enforced. I think it stands in opposition of it. It's always bothered the crap out of me, and I'm glad that Judge Hippler, in my opinion, is doing the right thing and easing up on it a little. Again, what do I know? I'm not a judge. I don't claim to know more than them, but it just always felt wrong, being somebody who does understand something about the pursuit of justice, like all of us do, right? So I just went on a tangent with that. But anyway, Lindy said, good points, Kelly, but how did Dylan Mortensen or Bethany Funk, how did one of them fall asleep after being frozen in fear, that frozen shock phase of seeing a man in the house? And that is a good question, because we did watch together before that video that I made about, being in frozen shock phase. And, that is a good question. And it's a question I don't pretend to have an answer to, because a person's, sympathetic nervous system response to extreme trauma and stress is going to be different from person to person, and from situation to situation, and from threat level to threat level, right? But here I am just going to play you. I think it's just going to be like 6 parts of that video. So if you didn't see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't want to see it, I don't know, go take a break for a moment. But I keep referencing back to it. And I do think it's good information to know, or I wouldn't have re-released it. But just let me get to the meaty part where I actually explain the science of it, okay? And thank you guys for being here tonight. I know this. And she saw the perpetrator as, and I guess we don't, human, okay. Is 5'10", about 108. So in order to, so the other people, okay. And again, I do feel comfortable with the level that I spoke about this topic too, because this is my profession. Who responded to the scene, and I'm talking about the students. Particularly, let's discuss Dylan Mortensen's characterization of being in frozen shock phase. According to the training that I've had in psychology and in preparation to become a behavioral therapist, there are 5 primary human responses to shock, 5 primary physiological responses to shock that we are not necessarily in control of when we are undergoing this state of shock. These responses are sometimes referred to as the 5 F's, and those F's stand for freeze, flop, and friend, as well as fight or flight. Okay, so in order to break this down, I just want to pull out the pieces that I read from the probable cause affidavit that are most relevant to people. I do just want to mention something about this. I made a video about this because as I've told you guys who've listened, I was in Greek life myself. I was a Delta. Can I help you? Try it out. When I was in college. And I do know some about Greek life, and I relate a lot to their Greek life. I did make a video all about this, about the standing and everything. I'll try to grab it and put a link to it in the description, but it wasn't like there was anything out of the ordinary going on. The video explains it all. Again, I'll see if I can find the link and pop in the description. Having questions and some criticizing surviving roommate Dylan Mortensen for not acting sooner. And of course, we can also add to that now what we have learned about Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk text messaging each other around the time that this tragedy occurred, and then Dylan Mortensen apparently running down to Bethany Funk's bedroom. And by the way, none of that new information really changes how I read the surviving roommate's response. So it was that Dylan Mortensen was awoken because she thought she heard Kelly playing with a dog. Then she said she thought she heard Kelly's voice saying, "Someone's here." She looked out the door at that time, didn't see anyone. She then says that she thought she heard Xana crying, and she looked out the door, didn't see anyone there. She then thought she heard a male voice saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." She looked out the door and she saw the perpetrator as she described him, as you heard in the probable cause affidavit. I want to turn to her language, frozen, shocked phase. So she says that she found herself in a frozen, shocked phase. We don't know how much time passed. She retreated back into her room, locked the door, and according to what we know from the probable cause affidavit, we don't know what happened after that. At least a few seconds had to pass by because she says the perpetrator walked by her with his 5'10", about 185-pound self and bushy eyebrows, and headed towards the back sliding glass door. And now, of course, we also know that she did end up in Bethany Funk's room that night. Remember, the first time I released this video was shortly after this crime happened. So there is that additional information now. So again, this is around 4 a.m., early morning hours of November 13th, 2022. And we know that the police were called at 11:58 a.m., approximately 8 hours later, under what is really just a very curious situation. I guess we don't have enough information to really have a clear picture of what happened. We know that the roommates had called other people over to the house, and it was after those other people arrived to the house that the 911 call was made from one of the roommates' phones. We don't know which one, and several people talked to the 911 dispatch. And obviously, that is some of the clarity that we are literally finally gaining just today. Like what? That's always been some facts of this case that people have questioned, and rightfully so. It's just really kind of like confusing and chaotic. But I'm sure that whatever the situation was there at 1122 King Road was extremely confusing and likely extremely chaotic. So before we go into the 5 possible responses to fear or trauma that humans undergo physiologically, it's important to understand this. On a physiological level, the human brain responds to danger in a variety of ways. And the way in which you respond to danger is not necessarily and often is not by conscious choice. If a traumatic event signifies a threat to one's safety, for example, it creates a physical and emotional reaction within the self that activates the sympathetic nervous system. This is also known as the SNS, or a fight and flight response, both of which are necessary for survival. It might trigger that fight or flight response. So it has been discovered through research and is often referred to in this way through textbook literature that the human brain has three independent competing minds at work within it. Okay, let's break it down. There's the reptile, the part of the brain, the brainstem that's responsible for survival instincts and independent or autonomic body processing. There's the mammalian part of the brain, the mammalian or midbrain. It's often referred to as the emotional brain, and it is responsible for processing emotions and conveying sensory information. Now, there's also the neocortex. The neomammalian complex includes the cerebral cortex, which is a structure that can be found in certain mammals and humans. This part of the brain is responsible for language abstraction, planning, and perception. So in essence, what happens is this, and if this is hard to understand or difficult to follow, I'm going to be doing a live stream to follow up with this material. Essentially, in the event of a trauma, the reptilian part of the brain becomes activated, alerting the body to go into survival mode. And at this point, the SNS, that sympathetic nervous system, prepares for fight or flight, freeze, flop, or friend. Once the brain shifts back to normal functioning, it can process information with a variety of sensory inputs and outputs. The cognitive processing is called top-down processing, okay? So the top-down processing is driven by cognition, by thinking, conscious thought, and it's based on perception. The brain responds to what it knows and what it expects based on past experiences and works in an almost predictable fashion, which allows for the successful processing of external experiences. However, in trauma, brain chemicals such as stress hormones become stuck and they can't be replenished, leaving the survivor in a permanent reactive state. This is what I believe Dylan Mortensen was referring to when she said the frozen shock phase. Very accurately, she described what she was going through in a very non-conscious level. So this was actually probably extremely perceptive of her. Okay, so let's go back to those 5 possible responses to extreme fear, trauma, or threat, which are flop, freeze, friend, fight, and flight. Okay, so all of these are activated by the sympathetic nervous system. And remember, when we are faced with extreme fear, trauma, or threat, and the sympathetic nervous system takes over, we do not have a conscious choice as to which of these we choose. So let's start with friend. This, of course, like everything else, starts when we're babies. We learn that by crying out for help, by getting the attention of a caregiver, another human being, then our needs are going to be met. We eventually start to expand our worldview and we start to gain friends or get what it is we need by smiling and making other friendly gestures in order to get what we need. So when faced with extreme fear or trauma, one of the reactions one might engage in, according to the sympathetic nervous system, remember, which comes from this reptilial mind, which is more connected to our intuition than the mammalian mind. It just hopefully chooses correctly for us. One of the option is to friend, which is also known as to fawn or flock or to appease. So you might be appeasing to the person who is threatening you. In this case, according to Dylan Mortensen's intelligent reptilial sympathetic nervous system, this was not an option. Another option is to freeze. Think of when, animals, evolved animals are out in nature and they are faced with a threat. Some of them might be equipped with something like camouflage. So if they freeze, hopefully they're just going to mix in with their background. They're not going to be seen by their predator, by their threat, and all is good. Or they might freeze behind a bush or a tree or in the water, someplace where they think either the predator, the threat, is not going to see them, or where that predator is not going to go to get them, because when they are frozen in this place, it would pose more of a threat to the predator to pursue them in this frozen spot. Remember that reptilial mind that is activated by the sympathetic nervous system when our intelligent body's response activates the sympathetic nervous system is really smart. It's really intuitive, and hopefully it selects the best choice. Okay. Then there's also flop. So flop represents the last defense and comes into operation when freeze is not successful. So basically the flop option is going to be the, the proverbial playing dead option. So when you freeze, there's still a level of threat. Maybe the predator, the threat, is still pursuing you. Then the next option might be to flop or to play dead. So in this case, let's say with, Dylan Mortensen, feeling like she's in that, frozen shock phase, she retreats to her bedroom. She sees this person coming towards her. I'm imagining he didn't see her. I don't know. Or maybe he had just had it. Maybe he was injured. Maybe he was done. Maybe he was exhausted and he was going to leave. We really don't know that. And we might never know. Her retreating into her room and locking her door. And maybe then, maybe the next thing she did was to jump into bed, go under the covers, pull the covers way up over her head. In this case, she went into flop mode, or, the proverbial playing dead, right? This makes sense too. So if we were to define flight, it's a response that seeks to put distance between the threat and the person. So it might involve fleeing the scene or hiding from the perceived threat. In this case, probably her running, trying to flee the scene, would just put her in a greater stage of danger, according to her smart, intuitive, reptilial mind that was triggered by the sympathetic nervous system being activated. Not a good choice. In this case, a variety of chemicals get released, providing energy to the larger muscles in the body. That might be why we tend to run a whole lot faster than normal when we're being chased. The adrenaline is produced in seconds. And for all of you slow runners, you might be happy to know that is actually a scientific fact, not just a matter of perception. You are faster and stronger when these, chemicals and hormones kick into your body and you go into this freeze, flop, feign, fight, or flight mode. And it is mediated by the primary instinct part of the brain to survive. All right. And then there is, of course, fight. This is often used as a backup response if an individual. Okay, so I think, and if you want to watch the rest of this, again, the video, I just re-released it just a couple days ago. It'll be very apparent. It was just like 3 days ago. So, I think we all understand kind of what fight is. So, all right. So I'm just going to, do you guys want to hear, I said before I wasn't going to play it again. Is there anyone that would like to hear the 911 audio again with, the enhancements at the part? Specifically, I just kind of tuned into where I feel like we were hearing Hunter. Dave H says, and so glad you're with us tonight. Dave H says her behavior is totally understandable in circumstances. I just hope she knows that. I do too. And I imagine she suffers, both of them suffer horrible survivor's guilt. I mean, that's almost unfortunately a rite of trauma processing passage you're going to have to go through surviving something like this. I hope that they are happy for their lives and know that they deserve to be alive and that none of this is their fault. And I hope that they're getting all the support and therapy they need because they need it and they deserve it. Man. Lindy, oh, thanks. I'm so proud to be a subscriber and member of this channel. Thank you. That's such a wonderful compliment. You really care to educate your viewers. I just love you, Kelly, and admire you so much. Thanks, girl. Oh, that really means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I start to feel, like anything you do, there are times when I just, love being a YouTube creator and sometimes true crime creator. I got a little cold here. I mean, to be disrespectful, the hoodie up. This is not a Stefan Stearns backwards freaking ball cap statement, okay? I still can't believe that anyway, we're not even going to go there. We have enough horrible things to think about right now. He does not need to be one of them. I'm really cold. Yeah, it was a cold winter. My heat's been on a lot. My electric bill has been higher than it ever has, Right. So I always love having my channel, but I really do want there to be an educational component to it because I just want that because we can all just talk about true crime. I would want to contribute to the conversation whenever I can, or open up a forum for you guys to contribute to the conversation because it's not always me that has the valuable something. Oftentimes it's you. So just like creating a place where you can have that is another goal. Let's see. So definitely going to read. And did you guys say you wanted me to play the 911 call again or no? We'll just do one more listen through together and then I'm going to be wrapping up because we're about 2 hours in anyway. And then I'm going to be doing another live stream tomorrow night, not in the Idaho case. We're going to be talking about the Watts case, and LJ, who was in here earlier and just visited the house at 2825 Saratoga Trail, can't wait to hear what she has to say. So, that will definitely be part of it. All right, let me bring this into here. Oh, yes, and I also have to find you the link to that Greek life video. I personally am proud of it. I think I did a good job researching the Greek life at University of Idaho. I have been a member of Greek life. I just wanted to dispel the rumors, let you know, yeah, there's some ugly sides to look at. Let's look at them. There's also some things that are totally rumors and, got blown way out of proportion as it pertains to this case. So I talked about that too. All right. Okay. So again, bringing this in just one more time so we can listen to it together. One is, let's see, sorry, I'm trying to, I just put out this live stream and just a video of the 911 call that have very similar titles. I couldn't figure out which was which. Oops, I picked the wrong one. Let's see. There we go. We pray for you, Dylan. I hope you're healing. You deserve it. To Watch the Obsession. This is a just released audio phone call to 911 from the surviving roommates of the Idaho4 tragedy. The victims of that tragedy were Kelly Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, Ethan Chapin, and Xander Knodel. The 911 call made from the surviving roommates, Dylan Mortensen, Bethany Funk, and 2 friends who arrived on the scene. At least the call plays 2 times through. Please be respectful in the comments.
11:55 a.m. 42 seconds, November 13, 2022.
911 location of your emergency.
Hi, something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what.
What is the address of the emergency?
1122.
What is the rest of the address?
Oh, Kings Road.
Okay. And is that a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
Can you repeat the address to make sure that I have it right?
I'll talk to you guys. We live at the White, so we're next to them.
I need someone to repeat the address for verification.
The address, 1122 King Road.
And what's the phone number that you're calling from? with?
3731.
And tell me exactly what's going on.
One of the roommates is passed out, and she was drunk last night, and she's not waking up.
Okay.
Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. Yeah. Hi, this is
And are you with the patient? Okay, I need someone to keep the phone, stop passing it around.
Can I just tell you what happened pretty much?
What is going on currently? Is someone passed out right now?
I don't really know, but pretty much at 4 a.m.
Okay, I need to know what's going on right now if someone is passed out. Can you find that out?
Yeah, I'll come. Come on, we gotta go check. But we have to. Did you pass out? She's passed out. What's wrong? She's not waking up.
Okay, one moment. I'm getting help started that way.
Okay, thank you. What's wrong?
Okay, and how old is she?
She's 20.
20, you said?
Yes, 20. Here's one.
Okay.
Hello? Hello?
Okay, I need someone to stop passing the phone around because I've talked to 4 different people.
Okay. Sorry, they just gave me the phone.
Is she breathing?
Hello?
Is she breathing?
No.
Okay.
Bethany, I need you to talk to them, okay? I can't talk to them, they need you to talk to them.
Hello.
Okay. I have already sent the ambulance and law enforcement. Stay on the line. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
Say that again. There's a police here right now.
Okay. If there is a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
We don't have it. I think yes. Do you have a defibrillator? Yes, we have one.
So are you talking to the officer?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to let you go since he's there with you and can help you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay.
11:59 a.m. 49 seconds, November 13, 2022. 11:55 a.m. 42 seconds, November 13, 2022.
911 location of your emergency.
Hi, something is happening.
Okay, so, again, that was the just released 911 audio call. And I did also, just in good timing, find that I have almost 200, I don't know how many videos we have in that playlist. There's a lot, guys. If you were looking for content on the Idaho case, we have been on it. In my playlist, there's 155 videos. I forgot for a while how much content I had done on this case. And most of it is videos I researched and uploaded like in this fashion. So here is the link to the Greek life video, and I'll put it in the description as well. Okay, guys. So I'm making homemade meat sauce for dinner for myself and son. It's almost midnight. I'm still cooking it. So I am going to go take care of my kiddo and attend to that. Let me just grab a couple more comments. And again, we will be doing a live stream tomorrow night. It will be on the Watts case, not this case. So Wendy King says, and I see some other comments to this, and I think it's a good point about the distancing. They're saying she's passed out. Why are they not reporting all of the blood that was reported when the case first happened? I don't understand. So yeah, this is something we kind of talk through, and nobody knows the answers to these questions for sure. And this is what's going to come out in a testimony in a trial, right? But I think that the nature of the scene that was viewed by just one or possibly two of these young people here, it was just so much to take in. They were strictly in a state of shock and literally couldn't even speak to it. And to say that is not to be making excuses for these people. That is literally what would be more likely to happen to somebody faced with that level of shock inducing trauma than for them to just continue to talk about their observations of the world around them in a normal fashion. Does that make sense? And then Alpha Mega says to Wendy, I think that's, and we had just already been talking about this, Wendy, like just before you asked. So that's what I mean about distancing. It could be the evidence they were aware of that something was going down. Yeah, I think that it's very clear that Dylan and Bethany, had some fears. They felt something went down at the house that was scary and it was wrong. And it caused them a level of fear and alarm and to take precaution far above what would be considered normal. I think they're always going to question themselves about not contacting the authorities sooner. Like, people have certainly questioned them plenty. I've questioned them plenty. There are questions there, obviously, but we need to understand that if anything has been proved with, the changing of the guards from Judge to Judge Hippler, and more information is being released. One thing we know, y'all, is we don't know jack shit. I mean, look at all the information, just the little tidbits here and there on literally every topic. Well, I didn't know that. Well, no, you didn't know that, because all the information has been under an extremely broad, in my opinion, unconstitutionally strict gag order. And the public has not had any purview or perspective on so much of this evidence that we kind of know is out there, but we don't know if we're really. So people fill in the gaps by making things up, because the human curiosity about this atrocity is something that, our brains are doing what human brains do. We want to know. This is horrifying. This is unthinkable. This does not seem human. It is within the human, healthy range of psychology to want to understand why and how the fuck did any of this happen. How could another human being do this to somebody? How could this happen? And again, the survival part of ourselves, which is always predominant in running our daily lives, whether we realize it or not, it's just a matter of whether it's activated or not, feels that if we can cognate, if we can think through the possible answer to those questions, it somehow is going to dispel the fear, which we mistake in our psychology for dispelling or, diffusing the threat, which are not one and the same. And this is what, the fascination with true crime is at its essence all about. Road Mac, it's been very nice having you in chat. I've really appreciated some of your comments here. Says Watts, the Obsession True Crime. Look forward to live tomorrow. Obsessed with the Watts case, but the Idaho case is too close to home to not get wrapped up. Yeah, and I mean, do you mean too close to home? Like, do you live near there, or just, maybe you consider yourself in that demographic? I'm curious. I like to get to know you guys. Yeah, everyone's outside during the call. Pepper's telling Wendy, it's Hunter that I believe he's the only one after the call was made that really ventured back in and, did that exploration that will haunt him for the rest of his life. Oh, you're not all screwed. It's okay. It's Wendy. It's like a really confusing situation. You can have questions. It's okay. You're not doing anything wrong. ASAP Lizzie says she didn't lie. She froze, but possibly realized us under great circumstances. Not her fault. Yeah, I just think, guys, no matter how you shake it, what happened that night? It is one of the most horrific crimes of modern times. It is. It is senseless. It is brutal. It is unforgiving. It is unthinkable. It, to our, hopefully average range of pathology minds, meaning we're not all a bunch of murderous crazies here. it feels not human, right? It's big. This is very confusing to everybody on all levels. Thank you, Sirius Black. I appreciate that. And I'm always so happy you're here. And I'm going to try to see if I can tag you better next time, or see if you can give yourself the ability to be tagged, because I know you do like the Idaho content. So I do think of you. So, all right, guys. Well, I hope to see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. And again, we are going to be talking about the Watts case. And thank you guys for working through some of this really hard material together with me, with all of us. In doing so, we definitely support each other. And, we pray for justice for the victims and, for their families, and for ultimately justice, because that's what the victims and the family members and really all of us deserve. So hopefully there will continue to be greater, transparency and just appropriate access to information, from us, from the public. And I personally, I say bravo to Judge Hippler. I like the way he's doing things. I thought I was going to think he was too much of a hard ass at first, but I've ended up liking him a lot. So, all right. I appreciate all of you guys so very much. And I would have played one of my nice little IDAHO4 intros that I worked so hard on a couple years ago, but YouTube isn't letting me use all that music anymore. I've got some bones to pick with you, YouTube, but it's cool. There's my son. Good. He's getting louder. I'm getting tired. That's how it goes. All right. Love you guys. Remember, life is hard. So please do be good to one another. Be, just thoughtful in comment sections on other channels. I know that you guys are, but man, life is hard. And most of all, be good to yourself. And I hope to see you tomorrow night. Oh, and watch the video on the Greek life at University of Idaho. It'll answer all the questions that have been put out there and dispel the rumors and tell you the truth, whether they're ugly or not. Take care.